The Bronco Black Diamond Edition versus the Wrangler Unlimited Sport S. Quick little scan of the interior of the Jeep Wrangler since 1941. Got our old handle right there. We've got mounts right there on both sides. I like that. Speakers everywhere. This does have the upgraded sound system. Memory. Okay, it's getting about 19.5 miles per gallon. This does have the 3.6, as I said before. There's your power windows. We've got your USBs, UCs, UVBs, and all that. There's your cigarette lighter. You do have a little container right in there. Is that a wireless charger? No, that's not. Maybe it would be on the upper models, but not on that one. There's your stick, obviously. It does have an actual power brake. Cup holders. There's your center console. It does have a UCV vitamin D in there. You got lights everywhere. No lights on the mirror. But that's the front of the Jeep Wrangler. All right. Okay, the Bronco is a lot more room. It's it's massive compared to the Jeep. We've got all of our creature comforts. Your power windows and door locks are right here. There's your power mirrors, GOAT modes, and your four-wheel drive switch. It doesn't have an actual handle. Also, it doesn't have an actual e-brake. You've got an electronic power parking brake right here. Both of them have power start or push button start. Like I've always said, half doors on the Bronco, full doors on the Jeep. There's the gauge cluster right there in the Bronco. Calm screen, fuel economy 13.8, but that's not really fair for the Bronco because it's been doing test drives and things like that. It does not have an oh crap handle right there, but you've got one right there. We're missing pillars, but there's an airbag right there. Holy cow. So we don't have oh crap handles, but we got airbags. This thing would turn into a cannoli. So we've only got 2 handles. The Jeep has 4 in the front. All right, there's the interior, the up front cabin of the Bronco. It's just massive in here. Engine options between these two are kind of cool. All right, up first, this particular Jeep has the old tried and true 3.6 liter V6, naturally aspirated, about 285 horsepower, 0 to 60 in about 7.4 seconds, 7.5. I do want to make a note that there is a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo version. That one is a lot more fuel efficient and it's a little bit quicker, about a second quicker. 0 to 60 is 6.4 seconds. And fuel economy gained 2 or 3 miles per gallon. Now, on the Bronco, this particular Bronco has a 2.7 liter V6 twin turbocharged. It is also the base engine in the Ford F-150. This puts out about 300 horsepower. This is the Black Diamond. This is a lower trim level, so it's not tuned up quite as much. About 300 horsepower, about 420 foot-pounds of torque. 0 to 60 in about 6.3 seconds. You can also get the Mustang 2.3 liter EcoBoost under the hood of this. It's about 300 horsepower, mid 300s on the torque. And you can also get the 3-liter twin turbo version, and that comes in the Bronco version, and that's the engine from the Ford Interceptor police unit and also the Ford Explorer ST. One more engine option I did want to mention right here on the Jeep, and I forgot, and I'm so sorry. There is a 4xe option, and it is a hybrid and gas. It's the 2-liter turbo version, and then it's also got a 48-volt system. The system, I believe, will go about 20-something miles completely electric before the gas kicks in. All right, the Wrangler and the Bronco, they are SUVs, but they're I call them lifestyle SUVs. So you can get rugged, we can go get them muddy, people are gonna go camping with them, they're gonna spend a lot of time out. So the reason why I say that, because we're gonna talk about the doors, and yes, the doors are an entire segment in my little review right here. On the Jeep, you've got exposed hinges there on the outside. There's a bolt on the bottom of that hinge and a bolt on the bottom of that hinge, and you just pick it up. It's a full frame door, so it's gonna be a little bit heavier whenever you're taking those off, so keep that in mind. Also, Jeep has mounted their mirrors on the Jeep itself, on the door. So when you take the doors off, you're now illegal. I've never been messed with by police officers for that, but technically you are illegal and you will have to mount some Schwinn bicycle mirrors right there. Just go in there in the garage, grab your child's bicycle, tear their mirrors off, and just mount them right there with some duct tape, and you're legal. Okay, the Bronco, on the other hand, has half doors. The Bronco hinges, those are inside. They're not exposed. See how the Jeeps, you can see those from the outside? Well, with the Bronco, you cannot see the hinges. Also the half door. Now it's gonna be a lot lighter. The window's gonna go down into the door itself. And when you take it off, it's kind of like a big briefcase. And something else, the Bronco, let's say you decide to take the top off like while you're out camping, the Bronco has holding places back there. You can mount all 4 doors in the back, so you can take the top and the doors off at a moment's notice whenever you want to. The Jeep's not quite that easy, but one thing that the Jeep does have that the Bronco doesn't have, and Jeep's had a long time to perfect these things. I think that's why Bronco hasn't gotten it yet. Right here, there are the holes for your screws. There's the windshield screws, looks like the roof. There's door hinges. Ooh, the bolts aren't in the door hinges. That's interesting. Anyway, so there's a place for you to put your bolts so you don't have to worry about losing the bolts. On to the next part. All right, as we mentioned before, these are SUVs, but these are convertible SUVs. The Wrangler has 3 different tops. You've got a soft top, which the Bronco is sporting a soft top. It doesn't look like that on the Jeep, but it's just a rag top, so you can kind of get an idea of what that is. This is called the Sky Roof. This is a huge one-touch sunroof. I can't wait to show y'all how that works. And then there's also obviously a hard top. The Bronco only has 2 tops. You've got a soft top like that right there or a hard top. Now let's open them up. The Jeep's top function is way easier. It's actually not fair how easy it is. So we're gonna get in here and we're gonna fire up our Jeep. We're gonna put the top back. Here we go. It's about the easiest top removal in the game. All right, the Broncos is not quite that easy, but it's not quite that hard either. On a soft top, it's pretty simple. 1 latch, 2 latches, grab it right there. And now we're topless in the Bronco. There is one thing that I do want to make a comment on, okay? When the top goes down and you are a back passenger in the Bronco, you have a lot more clearance. You can kind of stand up. The Jeep, on the other hand, it's not quite as easy. You still can do it. Now, there is a reason for this. Part of the reason why the Bronco is more open is because it doesn't have this middle pillar. All right, so it's gonna help with rigidity, but another thing that this pillar does, that Jeep does, is they do the sound bar. And so they mount speakers in here. Cargo area in the back, both of them have their spare tires mounted on the back. I love that look, I've always liked that look. But it looks bad if you don't have a spare tire, I will add that. This is a hard top. Oh, and by the way, the hard top does have a windshield wiper. I think that's important. All right, this does have the upgraded sound system. There's the Alpine subwoofer. It does have pretty good room back here. The seats are adjustable. They do fold down, so you can do that if you want. They also are adjustable as far as leaning forward or back. Pretty good room back there. And once again, we already showed underneath here, there's where all your bolts are for your doors, your windshield. It does have a cigarette lighter in the back, so you could run some kind of a power thing back here. So, and one more thing with the hardtop I always like to mention. That right there is a pretty cool way to cruise. Like, all right, it's the Bronco's turn once again. Like I said earlier, the Bronco's spare tire is on the back. It looks really good. The camera is mounted right there, which I think is a pretty nifty little thing. It's also mounted back there. I should have mentioned that on the Jeep, but both of them have the camera mounted in the center. We're gonna open up. One thing that the Bronco has that the Jeep does not have is this hydraulic. All right, it's not a big deal, but some people aren't strong enough, and if you're pointed down here, these doors on these little Jeeps and the Broncos can be heavy. So that right there helps you with the assist of opening and closing it. This does have very good room back here. I believe it's actually a little bit smaller than the Jeep, but this does have where you can put all 4 of the doors, like I mentioned, if you take them off.